Hey guys, Dry Socket here, and today we're going to take a look at slip hammering, and specifically we're going to look at the slip hammering for Duelist or Gunfighter style, where we're doing that slip hammer in one hand. So what is a slip hammer? A slip hammer is when we take the revolver, we depress the trigger, and we leave it depressed, and then we just work the hammer. So on my first one, I'm firing, now I'm holding this trigger, and then I'm just letting the hammer do the work. Now this is a two-handed slip hammer, and you can see pretty stable when I'm doing this here, right? This is an 1873 that has not been slicked up in any way, shape, or form, because I want to talk about this hammer. And when you're going to Duelist, the difficulty is now we're doing everything with one gun. So one hand, how high up I have to reach my thumb to get on this hammer, and what this pad looks like for me to get traction on the hammer is very important. Also, if the gun is slicked and tuned is very important, because the more force that I have to put going down here, especially on a longer gun, the more force here, the more barrel movement that's working here. I've got my garage door here. I'm gonna try to line up the gun on these two little things here, so you can kind of see the amount of movement up and down I'm doing when I'm doing this technique. So on this 73, again, this one is stock and this is a longer barreled gun. When I get out there and I get in there, you can see I have to travel quite a bit with my thumb to get up to the slip hammer. And I have to put a lot of force going down. Between my force going down and the recoil of the gun, I don't know that this is going to be saving much time. Now also, we might have to hold the position if I'm moving to a new target before I let it go. So this also has to be comfortable and stable for me to get my new sight picture. We can eliminate some of these problems just by tuning this up a little bit. When I go into my Vaquero here, same motion, so this is a Vaquero, but it's been slicked up, right? You can see that it's not as much pressure for me to get that back there. So again, I'm coming in, I'm getting on target, and now I'm working that, but still just that length of the gun, right? I'm getting a little bit of bump, and I'm having to travel up all the way up here to get that force going down. That force going down here makes this one a displace, and I have to compensate for that. Again, I have to get it to where I'm comfortable holding it in that position there before I let it go to fire, because unless I'm doing a double tap, I might have to move and find a new target. You can get around this, and how I've been doing my one-handed slip hammers is if I'm shooting a sequence that's like 2, 2, 1, right? I'm gonna shoot traditional the first time, and then slip hammer. Let go, come over, shoot traditional, slip hammer, come over, shoot traditional. So that gives me a little bit of time to find my sight picture before I'm engaging that hammer. This saves me some ADs and whatnot. Anytime you're thinking about a new technique, you really got to consider your accuracy, because let's say what I'm doing does not save me 5 seconds. And really on a revolver sequence, you have to go quite a bit faster to save yourself 5 full seconds. Well, if my accuracy decreases by 10%, that means I'm gonna have one more miss on that stage, right? One miss is 5 seconds. If I'm not saving 5 seconds doing the technique is not worthwhile. So that's the way that you have to consider it. You want your accuracy to be good. My accuracy going full slip hammer on Duelist, it's not there. But doing double taps, my accuracy is there, that I can come in and I slip hammer that one, move over, fire, slip hammer that one, move over, fire. That might be worthwhile. I'm getting tripped up on this hammer because I don't use this hammer to do Duelist slip hammering. This is when a Montado or your Super Black Hawk style hammer is going to come in handy. First of all, when we look at that hammer, I want you to take note at just the overall thickness of it. It is a much thicker pad for me to find my thumb on. This does two things. One, it lets me get on here and get traction a lot faster. But two, if I'm going to hold it in this position, it's a little bit easier to hold because I've got more of it to engage and keep friction on there. So that is one of the things that is very important on slip hammer. The other one is this is that Montado style hammer, and you can see it's much lower than the traditional style hammers. That means my thumb has less distance to travel to reach up and grab it. So when I'm getting on, again, I'll kind of line it up there. I get, and now these other movements are slip hammers, and I can keep that pretty steady. It's hard because I'm not looking at the revolver, I'm looking at the camera, which is a little bit different. This is a very awkward video to shoot, but I'm hoping that you're kind of getting the concepts and the ideas there. The other thing is you gotta have that very light, right? Very light to be able to slip hammer. If it's, you know, too much force going in, the more force you put here, the more displacement of the gun that you're gonna have. So this gun has been tuned up, it's been slicked up, everything's been, you know, polished and deburred, so I don't have very much energy that I have to expend to push that down, which allows me to, you know, get on target and kind of get there. So that 2-2-1 sequence that I was talking about earlier, so I'm gonna get my first one, double tap, let go, move. Get my next one, double tap, let go, move. Get my last one. So that is that one-handed slip hammering, kind of for the Duelist style. Doing Gunfighter, you have to do that in both hands. We don't have a lot of Gunfighters at the clubs that I shoot at. I haven't, you know, got to watch too many people to see how they do it. The one Gunfighter that I feel like is the best, he definitely does hammer trigger. But I have, you know, read on the wire and seen on some videos of some other folks doing this that they do slip hammer in Gunfighter. To me, again, it's that 10% accuracy thing. Is that going to save me enough time? Well, I don't even shoot Gunfighter yet, so I don't know. But on the Duelist, it hasn't got my accuracy to a point where doing a slip hammer on everyone makes sense. But in certain sequences, on certain sweeps, you know, especially like a 3-2 sweep, I'm definitely going to be slip hammering on that 3. So I hope that makes sense. I hope that you know, broke it down a little bit so you can kind of see the difference in the hammer and, you know, the tuning and how that can work to, you know, improve your speed by doing those one-handed slip hammers. You guys have a good one. Get out there and shoot.